I need you to leave your current job and take on the responsibility of caring for my dad.
What? What do you mean by telling me to leave my job? And you want me to become your dad's caregiver?
I just got a call from my dad a little while ago. Unfortunately, he had a bad fall and ended up breaking one of his hands.
Oh no, that's terrible.
He was attempting to reach something on a high shelf, but the chair was weak. Then he fell down and injured his hands. Given his age, living on his own is no longer feasible with these injuries. So I'm going to have you quit your job and start working full-time as my dad's caregiver.
I understand your concern for your dad, but making such a decision suddenly is not that easy. First of all, I'm not ready to quit my job right now.
Come on, Lauren. Your current job is just a simple one at the city office. That's not to mention you're the only woman in an office full of men. It's unlikely you'll get any significant promotions there. It's time to leave that job and come help my dad.
What? Are you serious?
Well, this is your job as the wife, right? And you're well aware that my dad still has responsibilities with his own company. He needs someone like you to assist him so he can quickly return to focusing on running his business.
Hey, Thomas, I didn't marry you to be the one taking care of your dad when he requires assistance. If you're concerned about him needing help, why don't you step in and support him? By the way, my work is unlike its appearance. I have less time off than you do. During family emergencies like these, you should be able to take a month of paid time off, right?
While I do have a substantial amount of paid time off saved up, I never see anyone using it all at once. If I were to take that much time off, can you imagine the impact it would have on my chances of getting a promotion? I'm tired of arguing about this, so just quit your job and come take care of my dad.
How about this compromise? Until his hands are usable again, we can hire someone to take care of him. He is the CEO of a company, so he can afford to find someone to take care of him.
There's no reason to hire anyone when you're right here. Besides, you're my wife, so it's essentially free for us. Understand? This is a direct order from your husband, and you need to listen to me. Enough with the explanations. Hurry up with the process of resigning from your job and getting here.
But I can't.
I've already informed my dad that you'll be arriving soon to take care of him. The plan is already in motion. Now I'm entrusting everything to you.
The next day.
Long time no see, Lauren. I'm sure Thomas has told you about my injury.
Yes, he did mention it, but are you really doing okay now? Did the fall cause any other injuries?
Fortunately, I was quite lucky. I ended up with a broken hand and a sprained one. My head didn't hit anything, and apart from my hands, everything else was fine. I can still use it a bit with my left hand, despite the sprain.
That's a relief to hear.
Another thing Thomas mentioned is that you're planning to quit your job to be here. I appreciate the help, but I'm sorry you have to go through that. Are you really okay with leaving your job to be around me all the time?
Well, it's not exactly my choice. My husband ordered me to do so. He believes that times like these are why he married me in the first place.
Wait, what? What? Your husband told me you chose to leave your job after learning about my injury.
That's not accurate, Jeff. Just yesterday, he suddenly asked me to quit my job without much explanation. Then he informed me about your situation and insisted that I needed to be a good wife and take care of you while your hands were injured. When I expressed my reluctance, he got upset with me.
It's definitely not the story Thomas shared. I'm so sorry, Lauren. While my hands are currently of limited use, I'll figure out a way to handle things on my own. I don't want to force anyone to do something for me when they're not comfortable with it, so please don't worry.
So, you're saying it's fine if I don't quit my job?
Absolutely. It's perfectly fine. It seems that Thomas might be trying to exploit the situation for his benefit. I apologize for any confusion.
In fact, I've already informed my boss that I'll be resigning from my position.
What? You've already told them you're leaving your job?
I just assumed that complying with my husband's wishes was what I needed to do. When I declined any request he makes of me, he becomes notably agitated and annoyed. The last time I opposed something he suggested, it felt like a full-blown conflict erupted within our home. So, this time I felt compelled to make a difficult decision and seriously considered leaving my job for good.
Did Thomas consistently behave that way towards you?
Yeah, nevertheless, you don't need to be concerned with my situation right now. I'll be at your place tomorrow as soon as possible to take care of you. If there's anything you need me to pick up on my way over, just inform me, and I'll take care of it for you.
Your support means a lot to me, but I regret that you have to go through this. Since you'll be looking after me for a while, I'd like to compensate you. I could portray it as if you were my housemaid, thus you can earn money for your efforts. How does that sound? I'll ensure you receive a generous payment for your work.
That really puts a smile on my face. But before either of us realized it, Thomas would be furious with me for taking any money to help you around. To be honest, it's already more than enough that you're offering that.
Do you genuinely think Thomas would be dissatisfied with you? If that's a concern for you, don't worry. I'll ensure your compensation remains confidential. I'll pay you with cash every month so that he won't know our arrangement. So please allow me to start paying you from now on.
Are you really okay with that?
I wouldn't want you to assist me without receiving anything in return. You've already made sacrifices, giving up a job just to care for me. Now you'll be taking care of all my needs for the next few months. It's only fair that I compensate you for the work you'll be doing.
Thank you so much for your understanding, Jeff. I'm looking forward to coming over to your house starting tomorrow. It's been such a long time since we met each other.
So do I. I understand that looking after an old guy like me may not be the most exciting thing, but I'm genuinely glad it's you and not someone else.
6 months later. Thomas, where are you at the moment? Your dad has fallen again. Currently, he's in the emergency room, but I can't handle this alone and need your support. The hospital must have contacted you.
It seems like a hassle for me, so you go ahead and handle it on your own there. Inform the doctor that I have urgent work that I can't step away from right now.
What? You're not even going to visit your dad after his bad fall. And why do you need to work on a Sunday? You always have Sundays off. I know you're just sitting at home, so what's your excuse?
Shut up! If Sundays are for staying at home, then why did my dad get hurt again? I don't have time to talk to you right now. I have important matters to solve, and I don't want to deal with you two now.
What important matters are you referring to? Wait, don't tell me you think your dad is going to die now? It may be a bad fall, but it wouldn't be life-threatening.
I received a call from the hospital, and they told he was unconscious for over an hour. He had a bad fall half a year ago. I think his life is coming to an end. I want to be prepared with plans before it happens.
Your thoughts are irrational. He's not on his deathbed yet.
Fine, take care of him for me. If it comes to that, give me a call immediately.
The next month. Hey, Thomas, what's going on with these divorce papers? I just got back from the hospital after your dad's health improved. Why are completed divorce papers in the bedroom?
Oh no, just when I thought he wouldn't make it. I never expected him to recover from that fall this time. I had hoped that once he passed away, I would inherit his company and everything else.
Huh.
Well, even if he's not gone yet, he'll probably have to step down as the CEO. If that happens, I, as his son, would be assigned to the position. So, because of that, you and I are getting a divorce.
I'm completely unaware of what's happening now. Why are you suddenly talking about divorce?
Because I have a woman ready for me when I become the CEO.
What? Who is this woman you plan on being with once you're the CEO? I hate to mention about this, but have you been cheating on me?
And what's wrong with me cheating on you? You're the one who quit your job and is rarely home. Since you're hardly around, chores are left undone, and I can't put up with that.
I had to quit my job because of you, Thomas. You insisted I leave my job to take care of your dad, and that's why I've been away every day. So don't blame me for not doing the house chores and use it as an excuse to cheat on me.
Who knows, you're always at my dad's house instead of staying at home with me. Or even worse, you weren't even there and were with other men. Even after my dad recovered, you insisted on being at his house, and that made me doubt your honesty.
Excuse me?
In your absence, I found someone else to fill the void you left. She is attractive and makes me happy while I'm busy with work. She'll be the next woman in my life, the young wife of a new CEO. So you have no place in my life anymore.
I disgust you, Thomas. Well, whatever now. If that's what you want, let's proceed with the divorce. You're going to have to compensate me, and it's not just about you. The girl you've been involved with will also pay me a settlement.
Hold on a moment, Lauren. Don't attempt to intimidate me like that. And please don't touch her. She's just 23 years old, and forcing a young person like her to pay a significant amount is morally wrong.
What? Are you serious? The person you cheated on me with is still 23 years old. A college student, you mean? What were you thinking, getting involved with a girl who is still in college?
Well, she approached me first. She worked part-time in my company, and one thing led to another. And I'm sure that when she heard that I would be the next CEO of this company, she would fall into my arms.
Huh.
Thus, don't bother attempting to collect money from us, as you were the only one at fault in this. If you hadn't been away from home all the time, maybe this wouldn't have happened. Nevertheless, I'll be generous enough to let you keep the house. That should be sufficient to halt any attempts to make us pay, right?
Wait. You're going to give me the house?
Yeah, as part of our property division, I'll give you the house and some extra money for the trouble you've caused. That should satisfy you without any complaints, right? I've been preparing everything since yesterday.
It's surprising that even after your dad's accident, you never visited him in the hospital. I had no idea that you were considering a divorce all this time.
Well, I'm leaving you the house and everything else to put an end to our relationship.
I'm okay with that, but I won't be taking it back.
I don't even mind. I will become CEO in the near future. My dad will step down, and I'll inherit both his position and the house he lives in. I plan to marry my new girlfriend and enjoy a wonderful life together.
I'll initiate the divorce proceedings soon. Even though the company is no longer operational, I appreciate you giving me the house and other assets.
Wait a second, Lauren. What do you mean the company is not around anymore?
Your dad's company is no longer in existence. Right before he had his second fall, he sold the company and all its assets to a larger corporation.
What did you just say?
That's why I was confused when you mentioned becoming the next CEO and the girl being the next wife to the CEO. Maybe hearing about your dad's fall again broke your brain in some way.
Hey, Lauren! Explain this to me now. Since when did my dad sell his company? Why wouldn't he have just given it to me? And why didn't he inform me about any of this?
This all stems from the strict order you gave me back then to quit my job and take care of your dad full-time. I've known about his plan to sell the company for a while now, and I was there to assist him with the process.
What? Is that true?
Even after he recovered from his first fall, I spent my whole time helping him. He asked for my assistance in finding a buyer for his company at a good price. Yet for some reason, you interpreted my time away from home as me cheating on you with other men. And that was your reason for cheating on me with a college student. You truly are the most despicable kind of monster.
Wait, that can't be real. Why would my dad ever sell the company? He kept me here all this time to take over, and that's why I've been working tirelessly. I've anticipated becoming the CEO for the longest time, studying day and night to ensure I can run it successfully.
Maybe you should have focused more on learning about your dad's company instead of other things. For a long time, your dad's company has been steadily losing money.
Are you serious?
Even though I say that, selling it wasn't your dad's initial choice. After the fall, 6 months ago, that left him in rough shape. He realized he shouldn't be working anymore. He admitted that he's not a young man anymore and should use the time he has left to enjoy life. Instead of passing the company on to you, he wants to take the money from the sale and be done with it.
If he was going to make such a significant decision, he would have consulted me first. Why would he do all of that without considering my opinion?
We attempted numerous times to get your input back then. But every time we asked you to come to your dad's house, you claimed you were busy with work. Do you remember when your dad called you to talk? You responded by saying that I'd handle everything for you. Following that, you would claim to be too busy with work to listen to him. Because of the distance you created between yourself and your dad, he eventually gave up on trying to contact you. Actually, he never had the opportunity to discuss selling his company with you.
So that's what he intended back then when he kept being persistent and calling me all the time.
Only a month after that, your dad's company was done for, and he had sold it. His fall coincided with the time the larger enterprise agreed to buy his company.
So, what am I supposed to do now? I thought I had that company secured for myself, but things are not going according to plan. To ensure that I could acquire the company soon, I even forged my dad's handwriting and submitted a form stating that he would be stepping down.
What?
When I received a call from the hospital informing me that my dad had fallen and was seriously injured, immediately after that call, I forged a document stating that he would step down as CO. I then called my girlfriend and shared all the good news. We were so excited to enjoy a wonderful life together.
How could you dare to forge your father's signature?
Hold on a moment. You did mention that my dad pocketed all the money for his company, right? I don't think he'll need that money, unless he uses it all for his medical bills and other fall-related expenses. You didn't assist my dad all that time without expecting something in return, did you? Perhaps you've been eyeing his money as well. He still has the house and other assets, right?
It seems like you've been thinking about this a lot. Well, he does still have some assets remaining, like the house and the car.
Thank goodness. Having some of that left is perfectly fine with me. Well, at least this time I don't have to worry about running a company, and we'll still be able to make a significant amount of money through those remaining assets.
Huh. Why do you assume all of that will become your possession?
He's been hospitalized for a while, and of course, he's not a young man anymore. I'm sure it won't be long before he passes away, and then I'll inherit all of his belongings, including any money that might be left after the medical bills. So, essentially, everything is mine now.
Sorry, but your dad claimed that everything would ultimately go to me. He won't be leaving a single thing for you in his will.
No way. He can't do that to his son.
But that's the truth. He told me he never imagined that his own flesh and blood would turn out to be some kind of rotten soul. He completed writing his will with the assistance of his lawyer and me. I will inherit all his assets after his death.
Wait a second. Did you threaten my dad and force him to give you all his things, right?
What the hell are you saying, Thomas?
Did you threaten him by saying that unless he left everything to you in his will, you would not take care of him anymore? He couldn't use his hands, so he had no option but to succumb to your threats, right? And since then, he has been too weak to resist you, so you can take advantage of the situation, correct?
Because you perceive things in that manner, I'm done with you. You no longer have any responsibility for looking after your dad. We don't require your assistance in caring for him anymore, so don't show your face around us again. A week later.
Lauren, please answer my phone. I've ended things with that young woman. Then what if we just pretend we never got divorced? The moment she found out I wouldn't be CEO anymore, she disappeared, and I couldn't even get a response from her.
Who would want to marry a man without wealth, especially after being caught lying? I have to say no to your request. I don't want to reconcile with you after you cheated on me.
What? No?
And even if I did, I've already submitted the divorce papers.
Please, Lauren. My dad said he cut ties with me, but he'll need someone to look after him, and I'll be his only option. You're too nice to just throw my dad away like that, aren't you?
Yes, he's done a lot for me to get where I am. So, I'll continue taking care of your dad. I want to thank you for giving me the house and everything in the divorce. We'll sell his house and live together in ours.
What, you and my dad?
I've been looking after him for nearly a year, and it hasn't been that difficult for someone like me. Because of his kindness, I promise to care for all his needs until the very end.
It's impossible. You're divorcing me, and yet you plan to continue living with my dad? That's not something that normally happens.
I understand it might seem strange from an outsider's perspective. However, your dad is like a second father to me, and I couldn't just abandon him. We'll just be housemates or something like that, so there's nothing odd about us living together. He even mentioned that he'll continue to support me financially even after our divorce. I'll do my best to ensure the remaining years of his life are the best he's ever had.
Would it be okay if I joined you both? I promise, I'll never cheat on you again, okay?
You already know the answer to that. You're not someone we can trust to live under the same roof as us. So have a great life, Thomas. Consider it a relief that the woman causing trouble will no longer be a concern for you. Enjoy living on your own and do whatever makes you happy. After that, Jeff made a quick recovery from his injuries and was discharged from the hospital to move in with me. Perhaps selling his company made him more comfortable, as he didn't seem to require much care from me after returning home. He could pursue his hobbies and go out independently. Both of us enjoy our life together. As for Thomas, he faced numerous challenges after our divorce. He tried to pursue that girl again, but kept getting rejected. She even reported him to the police for harassment. After a long time looking for a job, he applied to work in the enterprise that acquired his dad's company. Although the salary was half of what he previously earned, he must feel lucky to find a job with his little experience. While working there, Thomas made misguided attempts to pursue relationships with female colleagues. Unfortunately, they rebuffed him, stating that he was too old to be approaching younger women.
Hey Charles, I've had enough here, so please leave now. I can't handle more time with your family. We should find our own place. Both of us have good jobs, so we don't need to worry about rent, right?
No, we're not leaving yet. I made promises to my dad and that old lady. They wanted us to live here.
Charles, they're not keeping their promises. We haven't done anything, and they're already pushing limits. Weren't they supposed to help with chores and cooking on weekends, so we could have some time off?
Well, they're getting old now, and they're used to having weekends off.
You can just say they're lazy, and that's the truth. I wouldn't mind if they don't want to help, but they always complain about me. Instead of wasting their energy on complaining about everything, they could spend it on doing some housework. The food is really disgusting, and the cleanliness is inadequate. I find the bathtub to be excessively hot.
I told you to make the water hot when filling their tub. They could catch a cold going into a bath they expect to be hot but is freezing cold.
It's not cold at all when I fill it. Just because the water cools off a bit by the time they get in doesn't mean it's my fault.
I understand, but you'll have to ignore what they say and keep doing your best.
Great job, Charles. Before we got married, you had to take care of them all by yourself, right?
After all, I am their son. I was left with no options.
But for me, I had to work a full-time job, come back to clean, do laundry, cook, and take Dad out to visit his friend and read to Mom because she can't see well.
That's what most people do for their aging parents, right?
I'm sure some people would help their parents like that. Even I plan to help my parents when they're old, but doing it while they constantly criticize you, I can't deal with that. It seems as though they didn't know that our presence and labor were the reason they could maintain their home.
Anyway, they helped me win awards from the city. Without that, I wouldn't be obligated to be here.
Compared to your dad, you're better.
I got it. But they helped me back then, so I can't complain about anything.
Keep in mind that he no longer even gives a damn about how you feel. He only helped you get nominated and ultimately win because he wanted to show off you as his trophy. His kindness was fake.
By the way, Sophia will be coming back home soon, so I have to do my best. Can't let her see all of this, so just ignore my parents' complaints.
What? Are you serious?
Yes. Before giving birth, she would like to return here and get treatment. I remembered I told you before, didn't I?
No. This is the first time you mentioned this.
I can't stress this enough because of this. If we leave now, it'll only get worse here. Furthermore, I don't want her to return to a completely messy house. That'll stress her out and might harm the baby.
That is the worst possible situation. This house will become a living hell with her around. Why are you still putting up with this family when they've barely done anything for you?
Well, because they're my family. I'm sorry for making you go through this whole mess.
No, it's whatever. You have a will of your own, and we can find some way to put up with them.
Thank you for understanding that. Spend the rest of the night off for me, okay?
A few days later.
Hey, Grace. It's been a while since we texted each other. Right? I am Sophia. I've returned home so you can all take care of me and my kid.
Oh, Sophia, hope your travels went okay. It has been a while, isn't it? It's very uncommon to see you these days because you've been away for such a long time. I had thought about stopping by and seeing you all a few times.
By the way, Grace, why both of you have had a baby yet?
Huh, that's,
I assumed that you may be infertile. I am so sorry to hear that. Your little sister-in-law is going to have kids before you.
No, I'm not really worried about it. We're not too keen on having children anyhow, both your brother and I.
Huh? But if you don't have any kids, what will you do?
What do you mean by that? I'm not going to do anything different from what I do now. I'll continue enjoying my life with Charles as we grow older.
A marriage with someone who can't have kids is boring though, right? I've seen on the internet that couples without kids end up getting divorced.
You're better off not believing everything you read on the internet. Most couples get married for each other's company throughout their lives, not just for kids.
I know that, but it must sting to know that you're not able to conceive. even if that is how you choose to look at it.
Hold on. Saying something like that isn't relevant to your return home. You're being impolite.
Oh, come on. This has a lot to do with me coming home. You're making things worse for yourself, don't you? Since you still can't have children and you have no intention of changing that.
I am?
I mean, you're giving a negative aura, and I wouldn't want that affecting me negatively.
We haven't been ready to have a baby right now. Charles and I are too busy working to spend time caring for and raising children. We're enjoying our life now, and I'm happy for that. By the way, stating things like that is a little insensitive of you after we haven't spoken for so long.
Oh, I'm sorry, but I'm just being honest. Since you seem to have a negative vibe, I really think that being near you in my parents' house would not be the best idea.
What are you attempting to imply about me?
Well, you have been married to Charles for 3 years now and still haven't had a baby.
Do you not feel like your mind has become dark ever since you were married, Sophia? Before marriage, you were already acting pretty disgustingly, but now you're just a jerk.
What? Do you have something you want to complain about regarding me?
I do? You've been gone for a while, and now you're back, insulting me in the most offensive ways possible. Have you become that cranky after getting pregnant?
No, I just know that I'm better than you. Remember, the house you're living in is my parents' house, right? You should be grateful that we let you stay there. You have no say in the family order. You got it.
I'm being allowed to live here?
Yeah, you were right. Thank goodness you were able to marry my brother. But I don't believe I support your marriage, as this little sister. I bet he feels the same way. You're nothing but a heavy burden that he has to drag along with him wherever he goes. It's possible that he's still getting to you, in which case I would have to say it's disgusting that you two are still living with my parents.
Don't you just say whatever comes to your mind? Really, why must Charles have such a complicated family? You've done a terrific job locking your brother here and forcing him to do all the work, you and your evil parents.
Please stop saying negative things about my family. You have no right to do so.
No, well, honestly, I'd say I'm just stating the facts about all of you. I've been criticized multiple times, and my life in your parents' house has been filled with negative talk about me.
Listen, Grace. I don't mind you trying to look down on me, but when you start disparaging my parents, that's where I draw the line. I've had enough. You and my brother are just hindrances now, so both of you need to leave that house.
Oh, you're truly okay with the two of us going?
Of course I am, Grace. We won't have to suffer much longer with you two gone. Furthermore, it makes it more difficult for me to have children when there are a couple in the house who are not yet parents. Please hurry and leave my house. I'm worried I'll get sick from you.
Really? Thanks to you? That's what I desire for.
Stop trying to act all strong about it. And of course, we'll be cutting ties with you. So don't come around me ever again.
Oh, you want to sever ties with me? And not just you, but your mom and dad as well.
Of course. If you ever come in front of my parents or me after this, I will never forgive you. Make sure Charles leaves the house as well. I don't give a damn about him.
Really? This is the perfect scenario for me. Well, I'll be taking you up on your wish right now.
Hurry up and get lost.
A few days later.
Hey, what's going on with this house?
Oh, Sophia, this is not good. We're strangers now. Did you forget about that?
No, wait a second. Can you come back, Grace? Right now, the entire house is in chaos.
Chaos? What do you mean?
Mom and Dad are making me do all the chores here. And they didn't even serve any kind of food for me. I can't even get around the house without stepping on garbage. I've never seen them both so lazy, and it's disgusting.
Did you just notice that? They've been like that for years and years now.
Why? When I was still living with them, everything seemed fine.
No, they were never fine, even back then. Charles was the one handling all the cooking and cleaning in the house for everyone.
Huh? What do you mean?
Initially, he was their only child, so they made him do all the chores. But even when you came, they didn't ask you to help him. Even after you left, they still treated him like that. And when I married him, I had to join him in taking care of them. Charles never complained because he was raised to believe it was his duty as their son.
Is that so? I didn't see any of this when I came home. Now that I think about it, Mom and Dad always stayed on these couches.
That's why we are so grateful to you for freeing us from that house. I always wanted to leave, but Charles was too trapped to leave. But you told us to go so quickly. He didn't have time to doubt himself.
I can't believe Charles throwing all his family away and running off. Did you threaten him to leave with you? What are you planning?
Huh? Wait, you're the one that told us to leave, right?
But I'm saying he's stabbing all of us in the back right now.
I didn't think we leaving was going to be similar to backstabbing you all or anything. I'm sorry, but we have a new place to live now. I can't come back to you guys.
I had no idea my parents' house had become such a mess. So please come home and help me.
Wait, we're strangers to all of you now, right? We don't need to come back and help anymore.
Hey, I said that a few days ago, okay? I didn't mean to be so selfish, so please come back and help me.
It doesn't matter if you meant it or not. I know who your true nature. Do you regret kicking us out of there? Well, I guess you can't help being like that when you grew up with those two kids who raised you.
What? Are you insulting my family again?
What? I'm telling the truth, you know. Oh, I shouldn't do that, right?
You don't think you can treat us badly after what we've done for you, do you? We let you live with my brother in this house, so doing all the work here was just part of being his wife. Now come back home.
You're crazy right now. Just know that I don't care what happens over there anymore.
You must regret for what you did to me.
30 minutes later. By the way, are you going to be okay with that loan?
Loan? What loan?
Yeah, you have to pay $1,000 every month for it. We've been paying it for a while, but can you handle it now?
What? What are you saying? This house isn't my mom and dad's?
They own it, but they expanded it to let me move in. So they have a loan that needs to be paid for a few more years.
I didn't know that. Wait, what am I supposed to do about it? I mean, we have cut all ties now, right?
Sorry you have to deal with that, but you brought it on yourself.
Hold on, Grace. Next time, I'll make a greater effort to avoid embarrassing myself, okay?
Now go and enjoy the house with Mom and Dad.
No. Wait for me, Grace. I can't afford that loan or the house, Grace. I'm pregnant. What am I going to do about this?
Well, if that's an issue for you, why don't you ask your husband for help?
I divorced my husband.
Oh, are you serious? Why did you do that?
We divorced a few months ago. He and I are over and I have no place to go back to. That's why I have to live with my parents again. But not when it's this bad here.
Huh. Don't say you cheated on him or something.
What makes you say that?
Charles had your husband's number, and he talked to him a while ago. And he said you've been lying to him to take his money.
You're really a scum.
Oh, no,
I do intend to repay him. I just plan to return to Mom and Dad's house first to save some money. So please, come back here.
I'm sorry, but no. I'd be concerned that if you come back to live there, you might catch germs or something from me. After that, Sophia had to pay the loan for the house. Her parents needed her to pay for the house since they had no other income. Therefore, they didn't permit Sophia to leave the house. Because Sophia and her parents did not have enough money to repay the debt, they were forced to leave that house. In addition, Sophia also had to face her ex, who took their baby from her after she gave birth. I didn't care about Sophia and her parents, but I felt a little sorry for the baby, so I was glad it was taken away. They became homeless after all and left the city to an unknown place. Charles tried to contact them because he was worried about them, but they couldn't afford their phone bills, so he couldn't reach them. However, they showed up on the news after they were arrested. They had tried to steal from some shops, and they were caught. Sophia and her parents are sentenced to prison for 6 months.
Before Charles could do anything, I told him it was nice to see his family doing well together in prison.
I knew it would be hard for him to live without them, but I also knew that they were bad for us, and it was better this way.
Hey, Ariel. Did you finally make something delicious for dinner tonight? Don't think I'll allow you get away with serving slop like you did yesterday. I'm starving.
Yes, sweetie. I made an effort to create something I thought you might enjoy. I tried to tell you, but I was too preoccupied with work yesterday to prepare a nice meal for you.
What? You have a job? Ha ha ha. But seriously, Ariel, let's stop with the jokes. Wasn't it you who came to me and asked if there was anything you could do around the house?
Do you know that I run my business out of our house, honey? While I'm here, I work virtually every day. I've tried so many times to explain it to you, but you never seem to listen. Before we got married, you were so amazing at listening to what I had to say. But now that we're married, it's as if you don't hear anything I say. You're not idle or anything, are you?
What on earth are you talking about? Could you please stop talking for a moment? Okay, I'm quite aware of your adorable business, but don't go claiming that what you do is anything resembling a legitimate job like mine, okay? And definitely don't try to use that as an excuse to avoid doing your tasks. You stated you wanted to be a housewife, and now you're attempting to avoid your responsibilities. Now let's talk about dinner.
Yes, it is. I work from home and spend more time here than you, but I don't think it's fair to imply I don't have a genuine job. I believe I earn a reasonable wage for us. Dylan, I guess you're the only one among us who thinks I signed up to be a housewife.
I'd had enough of these excuses. Did you really believe you'd be able to marry and be someone's wife without being expected to do housework as well? It's part of the deal.
You are aware that we split all of our expenses 50-50, right? So I'm not sure where you got the idea that you could delegate all of the housework to me while I was working. At the absolute least, I'd like to think you'll be more understanding when I tell you I don't have time to make anything for us for supper. There are times when I'm too busy to do anything, okay?
Let's get this straight, okay? Do you comprehend that I go to work every day? So I just don't have time to take care of stuff around the house.
And please understand that I work every day. And just because I work from home does not make it any less important than the work you do.
You just can't get off your high horse, can you? Just shut up already. Hurry up and start making dinner. If it tastes as horrible as it did yesterday, you're in for a treat.
So whether you think it's good or bad isn't really up to me, is it? But do you really believe I'm going out of my way to make bad-tasting dinners for you?
Did you consider that you might just be a terrible cook? You only appear to be excellent at talking back and making excuses. You realize all you do is laze around the house being worthless while running your mouth. You truly are a useless, worthless wife.
I'm not trying to argue with you, Dylan, but I truly believe that my employment from home is legitimate.
So you don't think you need to make any changes? You're just going to sit there and moan about bullshit to me?
But you're the one who's been whining about it all. I believe you should take a step back and attempt to gain some perspective on all of this. I'm still doing and have been doing all of the chores around here. If all you have to say about what I do is complain, why don't you try cooking anything sometime?
Oh, you have a lot of guts to respond to me like that, don't you? You should know that I also live in that house. If that's what you mean by getting the housework done, I think you should take a step back and reconsider.
That is my point. You are the one that is upset over everything, not I. Anyway, I completed dinner. It'll be ready for you when you come home. So, you don't have to worry about it. So, at the very least, you don't have to be concerned about that.
I promise I'll kick you out of the house if you're sloppy again. Ariel, I am almost there. My mother and father both worked, and my mother never grumbled about making sure the cooking was done correctly every day. She was the ideal wife. And then there's you, who can't seem to get anything right. You should strive to learn from her. She was a wonderful lady.
You are aware that your mother and I are not the same person, aren't you? Since your parents were children, times have changed. Are all of these details fresh to you? In any event, I really don't appreciate being compared to your mother.
Wow, simply wow. There's nothing I can do to aid you, Ariel. And to be honest, I don't think you have the strength to pull yourself together and learn the housekeeping skills you should already have. I mean, the very least you could learn to do is cook some stuff that is at least edible.
Okay, fine. I'm not going to say anything else.
Several days later.
Hello, Ariel. I'm just texting to check that we can still come over to your place next Wednesday. I was wondering if there was a time that would work for me to swing by briefly. It's not too much of a hassle for you, darling.
Oh, dear. I'm sorry, but I have a meeting on Wednesday. I'm attending an online meeting, but I'm not sure how it will conclude.
Oh, you've had a meeting? That's correct. Do you have a job, Ariel?
That's correct. I'm now working from home. To be honest, I work more than 40 hours most weeks.
Is that right? I don't think I knew that. Dylan always said you were a full-time homemaker. I'm sorry, sweetheart. I I think I misread the situation.
No. To be honest, I don't believe it's your fault. Dylan is aware that I work from home. Most of the time, however, it appears that he simply cannot believe that I do. I suppose he just doesn't get the concept of working from home.
Oh, I see. But, sweetheart, shouldn't your husband be aware of your occupation? I sincerely apologize if my son said something that irritated you.
No. Rosie, you don't apologize for this. Please trust me when I say that I adore you. You and your husband both worked while you took care of the chores and cooking. You're also parenting 3 sons. It's very wonderful.
I'm sorry, but I'm afraid I'm not understanding what you're saying.
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm a little perplexed.
The thing is, I never worked again after I got married.
Oh, I see. I'm sorry, but there's something else I'd like to ask you in that case. Would you mind if I asked you about it later?
Several days later.
I'm not sure I believe you right now. So where do you get off? It's pathetic if this is what you call being a housewife. You can't really do anything right now, can you?
Dylan, do you have another problem about dinner? Besides, are you really a nice husband if you lose your temperature wife for such selfish reasons?
I'm sick of your foolishness, Ariel. What if you just don't do anything? How does it sound to sit around the house doing nothing?
What? Are you certain that's what you want from me?
Sure I am. You're such a useless woman. You're just a jerk who can't even do the fundamental necessities of housekeeping. How can you call yourself a housewife when your cooking is this bad? Just hurry up and start cooking dinner. If it tastes as horrible as it did yesterday, you're in for a treat.
Okay, good. I'm not going to do anything.
Wait, what? And what exactly do you mean?
That's exactly what I meant. I heard what you said and intend to follow through on it. Anyway, best of luck in work.
That night.
Hey, what kind of silly little game do you think you're playing right now? And where did you flee to? Are you serious about doing nothing?
Of course, I'm serious.
You've got a lot of guts, don't you? So you're not going to cook anything, clean the toilet, or do any laundry? And you thought I, your husband, would be fine with all of this?
Yes. Of course. Isn't this just what you requested this morning? I'm merely doing what you ordered me to do. Nothing.
You really don't understand it, do you? I don't think I've ever met somebody with such an ability to irritate me. That truly elevates you.
In any case, all you do is get furious and frustrated with me. Don't you think you should just give up at this point? Also, you also stink.
What game do you believe you're playing here? Are you trying to see how far you can irritate me? And how am I meant to live in this place if things are going to be this bad?
That is not my issue. I had a similar thought.
What on earth are you talking about?
I'm informing you that I've left the house. I refuse to take care of you and be forced to wait on you any longer. Do you realize how stupid you are, Dylan?
What? Please excuse me. You think I'm a moron?
You know, despite the fact that I make far more money than you, all you ever did was treat me like your obedient housewife. I don't know how many times I've had to explain it to you, but you do realize I make over $1 million per year, don't you?
You do not. I can't believe you could make so much money.
Wow, just wow. Did we really go so far as to marry, with you always thinking what I said was a joke? But, to be honest, that just goes to demonstrate how correct I was about you. Anyway, I don't really care what happens to you any longer. I want a divorce.
Wait, a divorce? Come on. Let us not be so hasty. These issues must be discussed and handled with care. What has happened to you all of a sudden? This is very unusual for you. Furthermore, are you serious about the $10,000? Do you actually make that much money?
I told you that while you were telling me how much money you make, but I know that if you were ever genuinely inquisitive about it, you could have checked it with some basic math.
I guess I just never bothered to do the math. I had no clue you were earning that much money. It's amazing.
So you're acknowledging it? That you were never interested in learning anything about your own wife? I should have known you were the type to project your own delusions of reality onto others. Well, in a million years, I would have never wanted to marry you.
What exactly are you talking about? Look, I'm not sure what you're referring to, but are you serious about getting a divorce? Just tell me where you are right now.
And why would I tell you that? I've already placed the divorce papers on the table. All you have to do is sign them and mail them.
But why? Did you truly despise being a housewife?
How many times do I have to tell you? I'm not a housewife. You just don't seem to grasp it, do you? Dylan, you need to focus on your listening skills. Speaking of which, I'm sure you had no idea your own mother stayed at home and did not work.
Wait, what?
You were always bragging about what a wonderful woman your mother was. She was often bragging about how well she worked and handled the house. So I talked to her, and she informed me that when she got married, she never worked again.
Oh, I see. Is this correct? I guess I just assumed she worked.
You mean she never sat you down and explained how tough it would be for her to raise 3 children on her own while working? She was only able to stay at home and concentrate on matters at home because of how much money your father made. That's the only way she could raise your children, feed you all, and keep the house tidy. So why don't you tell me all about the fantasy ideal that you were constantly attempting to make me follow?
Well, it's not as if I forced you to do anything. I didn't believe I was losing my cool all that much. But please accept my apologies. It was a mistake. I truly believe my mother worked, and I hope you can understand.
Dylan, you could never see, let alone understand, what was going on right in front of you.
Is there anything you'd like to say to me, Ariel?
You know, absolutely nothing about your mother or wife. Or should I say ex-wife? I don't want to see you again after this. And has your mother already apologized to me?
What? She apologized? For what? I don't get it.
She apologized for having such a useless son, and for the anguish you inflicted on me. She stated she absolutely understood why I wanted a divorce.
Did she actually say all that?
And I have to agree with her. Even if I ignored you continually criticizing my job, every day, all you did was critique the housework I'd done without ever offering to help. You were always sitting around critiquing me while drinking your beer. And it took a long time for me to realize that I no longer love you, Dylan.
No way! Of course, Ariel. You still adore me. Come on.
Actually, I think you've become a little strange. I no longer have even a speck of affection for you. Furthermore, getting rid of you will give me a lot more time to concentrate on my career. I'll finally be able to concentrate without having to worry about doing chores for some overgrown man-child.
So you're saying you don't like me now? You think I'm a man-child? I'm 35, you know?
Even at 35, you can't do the basic minimum to look after yourself. It's pitiful. You're only good at talking trash. Anyway, I'm never going back. So I hope you're having fun with the life you've created for yourself. Because I've been such a useless wife all this time, right? It's a good thing you're capable of handling everything on your own.
Wait, please wait a minute. So, who will prepare my dinner?
What? Do you want to eat? You're always complaining about every dish I made you. Do you honestly think I'd cook for you again after all this?
But Ariel, if you don't prepare me dinner. So, what should I eat now? How am I expected to go on living like this?
You're truly a pitiful excuse for a human being. For a change, why not make or buy something yourself? I realize this may be a difficult concept for you to grasp, but we're going to divorce, got it? And I'm never going to prepare you dinner again. In fact, I never want to see your face again.
I apologize, Ariel. I should not have treated you that way. Please accept my sincere apologies. However, a divorce. I believe we need to discuss this more. Will you please reconsider? I'm going to change. I guarantee it.
No, Dylan, I've made my decision. So go ahead and tell me what you still have to say. Why don't you read back through those texts and think about what you've put me through?
I will. I pledge to reflect on what I've done and make changes. And to be honest, I had no idea how much money you made. I'm going to quit my career and start helping around the house.
No, I'm afraid I'll pass on that.
But why?
You can't even pick what to have for supper. What makes you believe you'd be useful around the house? Dylan, I already know you're all talk. Anyway, why don't we just call it quits? Just sign the paperwork, okay? If you don't, I'll hire a lawyer. And the whole affair will become even more expensive.
You're so cruel.
Bye. What if you attempted producing your own foul food?
After that, Dylan was in a rough position when Ariel requested a divorce. He immediately changed his mind after learning how much she made. He pleaded and begged her not to leave him, but she refused. Dylan never heard from Ariel after that. Even his mother supported Ariel during the divorce. He had no idea how much anguish he had caused Ariel.
It wasn't until after the divorce that he recognized how thoughtful she'd been. He now realized how inconsiderate he was being to her. However, it was far too late by then. Meanwhile, Ariel is enjoying her single life while her savings grow.
Hello there, Rosalind. Are you available? Did you mention anything recently?
Is it possible that I said something? I can't think of any. Why do you inquire? Do you believe you heard me say something?
I just thought I heard you say something to me as I was leaving the house. But I've been half asleep since last night. So nothing happened?
I don't believe I mentioned anything, nor do I believe anything weird has occurred. I'm sorry you're having such odd feelings about things.
So, just tell me what it is you want to tell me. I'm sure you have something to say to me, so say it.
I can only think of one thing that might be worth telling you. Yesterday, I received a message from an old friend with whom I studied abroad.
So, there is someone you haven't actually spoken to in what time period? 10 years?
In fact, it will have been 11 years. But, in any case, she appears to have elected to remain in Germany, where she has lately obtained permanent residency. But she contacted me to let me know that she will be returning home for a short vacation next month, and asked if I wanted to meet up when she was here.
Oh, I see. That sounds like a lot of fun. And you might inquire about what it's like to live in a country such as Germany?
Yes, but I'd have to drive quite a distance to meet up with her, and the only day she claims she'll be available is Sunday. And you already know how I feel about leaving the house unoccupied for that long. Plus, because school would be out, I'd have to bring Kiera with me.
What exactly are you referring to? I'll stay at home and care for Kiera. You should go see your pal. That sounds like a fantastic time.
Wait, what? Are you sure about this? You don't mind if I went to meet her?
Of course, we'll stay home and keep an eye on the house while you go out and have some fun. It's actually not a problem at all.
It's just that I recall you saying how much you dislike having to babysit all day, so I didn't want to presume you would.
Yes, but that was a long time ago when Kiera was a baby, and I had no idea what I was doing. But, besides, I was only complaining, and I wasn't serious.
Is that true? So I think I misunderstood. Okay then, if you don't mind, that would be fantastic.
Who do you think I am? Did you honestly believe I wouldn't keep an eye on my own child? I'm confident I'll be able to handle it.
It's not that I didn't believe you could accomplish it. I guess I was astonished that you recommended it.
So I believe there are still some aspects of me that I can surprise you with. Besides, I believe that was a lot more energetic before we married. I mean, I used to think you were really amazing.
Do you believe it was because I was unmarried and you were attracted to me? But certainly, life was much more liberating before marriage.
And you used to have so many friends and travel so much more. But it seems like you haven't gone out much since we got married. I'm concerned that you're overly stressed. But, you know, if you truly wanted to, I wouldn't object if you went out more and did stuff with people you like.
Wait a minute. You really mean it? You don't mind if I went out more?
No way. Why would you ever consider it? Furthermore, it appears that you will not be able to see this friend for a long time. So you should take advantage of the opportunity while you still have it.
Okay, if you truly don't mind, I'll take you up on your offer and go see my friend.
Perfect. I wish you a great time. Please don't hesitate to contact me if you have any questions.
I will. Thank you once more. I can't believe how much fun this will be. 1 month later. Hello there. I just wanted to let you know that I finally saw my pal. Oh, and I forgot to give Kiera her medicine this morning. Could you please do that? It should be on the medicine cabinet's top shelf. I'm sure Kiera could point it out for you if you don't know which bottle it is.
Medicine? What precisely do you mean? What kind of drug are you referring to?
So she got that cold yesterday, right? So we have medicine that we must administer to her after she has eaten.
Yes, I see. That's not going to work because I have to go to the office today. Can you believe it? They called me in to work on a Sunday.
Oh, you're at work now. What happened to Kiera? Where did you leave her?
Don't worry about Kiera. I just dropped her off with Ariel.
Wait a minute. Do you mean my sister? Was she there? She didn't mind being asked to keep an eye on Kiera.
Yes, I guess she's always home on weekends. She's usually working in her garden, you know.
But I still feel horrible for her. I mean, being asked to babysit someone unexpectedly, and on a day when you thought you'd have the day off.
I get what you mean, but it's not the same when it's family. And you've seen how great they get along.
Sure, but I'm hoping Kiera isn't causing too much difficulty for Ariel. You know how unhappy she gets, even when we merely drop her off at preschool.
I'm confident everything will be okay. Kiara is undoubtedly ecstatic to be with Ariel. I don't anticipate any issues.
Do you truly believe Ariel is capable of babysitting? You realize she's a touch odd, right?
Yeah, she's an unmarried woman living with a slew of dogs, so she's certainly unusual. If you ask me, she's essentially a hermit.
She's a bit of a recluse, but I adore her home. There's also a small creek nearby. I've always thought that would be a great area for a child to play outside.
You could be correct about some of that. Kiara, in fact, became really enthusiastic when I told her that we were heading there. By the way, how are you doing? Are you having a good time?
Yes. We're having so much fun catching up. We've only just arrived at the restaurant.
Okay, do you mind if I message you right now? I understand if you want to talk later since you're out.
Oh, my friend just gone to the bathroom, so I have some time to text.
Nice. So, after the two of you have finished eating, do you have any exciting plans?
I imagined we'd just wander around some of the tourist attractions. We're eating a light lunch, so we'll probably order something else later.
That sounds like a lot of fun. I'm delighted you're able to do all of this.
Well, thank you so much for volunteering to keep an eye on Kiara, even if it didn't turn out the way we expected. Anyway, good luck with your work. I'm sorry you had to work on your day off.
Yes, there was just one client who insisted on having some items done by Monday morning, so we didn't really have a choice. I'm very sorry. I thought I'd be able to stay at home with Kiara all day.
It appears that you had no say in the situation, but that's fine. You shouldn't be concerned. But I guess that means I need to go see Ariel and thank her for keeping an eye on Kiara. On the same day. Are you there, Ariel? I was wondering if Bernie had already paid you a visit today.
Hey, sis. I don't think I've seen Bernie today. Why do you inquire?
I'm curious if he's still working, but it's too late. I apologize for keeping you with Kiara right now.
What exactly do you mean?
I mean, I know she can be a handful, but in any case, I'm on my way to pick her up from you right now. And I just wanted to apologize for asking you to watch her at such short notice.
Oh no, I'm still completely perplexed. Do you believe I have Kiara? Because I'm sad to say, I don't.
However, Bernie informed me that he had left her with you.
Is that what he said? I hadn't seen him or Kiara all day.
Bernie was supposed to stay at home with Kiara since I had plans with a friend, but he got called in for work. So he informed me that he left her with you because he couldn't watch her any longer. That is why I'm on my way to your house right now.
I'm truly sorry, but I don't know what to say to you. I had some errands to run, so I wasn't home all day. He may have tried to come up to see me, but I was most likely not home.
However, he informed me that he had left Kiara with you. He claimed you had her.
That is truly strange. You don't think he'd just leave her on my doorstep and driven away, do you?
He would never do something like that. We're talking about our 3-year-old daughter, after all. He wouldn't do that, would he?
I sincerely hope he doesn't. That's insane.
Please wait a moment as I take a phone call.
So, while you're on the phone, I'm going to go around my house and see if I can't figure out what's going on.
I'm very sorry for everything. I have no idea what's going on. Thank you for looking into it. On the same day.
Oh, I just got off work. What a fantastic day. Have you picked up Kiara from Ariel's yet?
I was about to go pick her up until I realized I didn't have to.
What exactly do you mean? Did Ariel wind up driving Kiara back to our place?
No. I went to pick up Kiara.
Sorry, I'm not sure I understand what you're saying. What do you mean?
I simply meant that I picked Kiara up from the police station rather than Ariel's house.
Wait, Kiara was in the police station. But why is that? Is there something going on?
If you're curious, the cops called me. They said they had snatched her up and were holding her.
What exactly does this mean?
Kiara was apparently discovered roughly 2 kilometers distant from Ariel's home. They stated that she appeared to have been wandering for hours. So tell me what's going on, since I thought you left Kiara with my sister. Why was Kiara discovered wandering around by herself?
What do you mean? That's not my fault. I did as I stated and brought her to Ariel's house.
Ariel was gone much of the day running errands?
So, Ariel wasn't even home for most of the day?
Yes, she wasn't. So, would you mind telling me what you did with Kiara?
So I drove her to Ariel's house, dropped her off, walked her to the front door, rang the doorbell, and then drove away. I thought she was home.
So you just left our daughter there without even checking to see if anyone was home?
Are you mad?
I'm truly sorry. I truly believe she was at home. This is all a massive mistake, I swear.
This is unbelievable. What made you think that was a good idea? Why would you abandon her like that? Were you late for anything?
I believe I was so anxious about work and couldn't stop thinking about it, so I didn't bother, checking to see if anyone was home. I'm truly sorry.
Ariel told me everything. She was faster than I was in getting to the police station.
So, I assume you two are now together?
That's correct. Ariel has some things she wants to express to you as well.
Ariel texts Bernie on Rosalind's phone.
Hello, this is Ariel. I was simply letting you know that I arrived to the police station before Rosalind. I sat with Kiera until she arrived.
I just wanted to thank you so much for accomplishing all of this and apologize for the misunderstanding. I never expected something like this to happen to me.
Rosalind and Kiera are currently eating at my house.
Apparently, the cops offered Kiera some of their food, but I believe she was too terrified to eat.
As a result, she hasn't eaten anything since breakfast.
I'm very sorry for everything. I just don't know what to say about this. I'm so ashamed.
I believe you should apologize to Rosalind and Kiera, don't you?
Of course you are correct. And I will do so the next time I see them.
I do, however, have another question for you. Did you go to work today? Is that all you have to do?
Naturally it was. What else could have prevented me from keeping an eye on my daughter today?
I simply want to make sure you're certain about this. Is that what you claim you were doing?
You obviously have an idea about what I was up to, so why don't you just say it?
I just felt it was strange that you would have been called in on a Sunday. Rosalind, too, felt it was strange.
So, what's the big deal about it? It doesn't happen very often, but it does happen. We have a major client that needed some work done today.
Very intriguing. You see, I have an old classmate who works for the same company as you. Do you know who I'm referring to?
Are you referring to Otis? Yes, I recognize him. How about him? We are both employed in the same department.
So I asked him about work today, and he told me that there were some major system upgrades being implemented and that no one was working because of the maintenance. He stated that it would have been difficult for him to complete any work today as a result of this. And yet, you're going to sit there and claim that you went to work today?
Wait a second, or are you trying to tell me that you were checking to see if I was speaking the truth about going to work today?
Perhaps. But don't you think I was justified in doing so? After all, I wouldn't have discovered your secret if I hadn't.
Ariel, hold on a second. Do you think we could discuss this in private, please?
And keep Rosalind out of this crucial discussion. I'm afraid we won't be able to do so.
But I simply wanted to say that I don't believe we need to go out and give Rosalind any more shocks today.
We're going to talk about everything right now, okay?
Okay, you're correct. I lied about being in the office today since I didn't go to work. The fact is that I had an appointment with someone.
And who exactly was this person? Is she a secret lover? If you're talking so vaguely about who they are, it must be.
I wouldn't say she's my lover, but that appears to be overkill.
Nobody seems to care what titles you and this woman have chosen. The truth is that you're still seeing someone else.
That is correct. We first met 2 years ago. She was just my type, and the two of us got along great.
I apologize, but I don't recall asking how you two met or what you do together. I just wanted you to say you were cheating.
Okay, fine. We did, however, go on dates and even spend the night together on occasion.
I knew,
I'd really like to speak with Rosalind about this, so could you just hand her the phone right now?
You are welcome to try to talk to her, but I don't think she's going to listen to a word you have to say.
Please allow me to speak with my wife, okay?
Ariel then handed back the phone to Rosalind.
Rosalind here? I'm sure you believed your little secret would never get out, didn't you? And why are you so keen to look after Kiera? I suppose it was simply an excuse to meet up with this gal, huh?
Please allow me to explain myself. That's all I ask.
And what else is there to say?
I understand why you're furious, and I just want you to know that I never intended to put Kiera in danger, you know that? I'm just feeling like a terrible father right now.
So, I think meeting up with this other woman was more essential to you than Kiera's safety, right?
She messaged me out of the blue this morning, and she appeared irritated with me. I didn't want anything awful to happen, so I knew I needed to meet her this morning to attempt to make things right.
Is that the best you can come up with?
You don't get it. She was attempting to convince me that I should divorce you. I was afraid she'd tell you about us if I didn't do something to calm her down. That's why I had to see her today. She threatened to end our relationship if I did not come see her.
So, if you didn't divorce your wife, you were basically going to make things worse for yourself with this other woman?
I regret meeting her. I should have blocked her right immediately.
Is that true? It's difficult for me to accept that after she threatened to end your relationship.
You have to love her a lot to accomplish it.
But I don't love her nearly as much as I love you. You have to trust me.
Bernie, I don't want to hear your pitiful explanations. In fact, you are free to marry her if you so desire.
No way. I'm not going to marry her. I don't like her like that because she's only a fling. She could never be a decent partner to me, which is why I want to end things with her.
You keep repeating that, yet your actions continue to speak to the contrary.
To be honest, I like her face, but the rest of her is really mediocre. She also comes from a low-income household and works a lot of evenings. When you think about it, she's really bad all over.
I'm not sure whether you realize how terrible you sound talking about someone else in that way, huh?
What precisely do you mean? I'm not saying those things about you. Don't you see that I prefer you than her?
Did you truly believe that criticizing your secret lover would make me feel better about myself? If that was your intention, prepare for a surprise. But I suppose I now know what kind of person you are.
I just wanted you to know that I genuinely don't want to marry her. I was merely explaining why. You're the only woman I love.
I don't want to think about you at all. Do you realize how bad you are?
Please, Rosalind, don't be like this. I'm sure we can work it out.
You're a terrible, terrible man.
I don't think you should be furious with me. Instead, we should be mad at this other woman for getting in our way.
Okay, then give me her phone number.
You want her phone number? But what will you do with it?
So I'll phone her and tell her I'm your wife. I'll also inform her that I'll be leaving you and that she may have you all to herself if she so desires.
You're not going to divorce me. But why? We don't need to go that far, do we?
Of course I'm divorcing you. Did you honestly believe I would forgive you after everything you've done to this family?
Rosalind, please don't behave like this. This does not have to be the end of it. I have the ability to change. I guarantee I'll improve.
Just give me her phone number and I'll leave the rest up to you two to discuss.
You can't be this serious, can you?
I guess you won't know unless you give me her phone number.
Okay. I'll provide you with her phone number. Just attempt to persuade her to avoid me.
And since I don't want to see you today, I'm going to remain at Ariel's place.
I get it. But you're going to return home, right?
Who knows? Perhaps I'll just stay and live there. It would be preferable to moving back in with you. Following that, I called my husband's secret lover and we had a short talk. I told her everything he said about marrying her, even showed her screenshots of the messages. Apparently, Bernie had pledged to marry this woman one day, so she was taken aback by what she saw. In fact, I believe she started to dislike him at that point. The divorce was completed quickly. He pays me alimony and child support every month and may only see Kiera twice a month on supervised visits. I've been living with Ariel ever since and haven't given Bernie any thought.
You really are such a useless daughter-in-law. What purpose does your presence serve in this household? I can't fathom why my son chose to marry someone like you.
What did I do wrong this time? I'm currently occupied with work, so I have limited time for conversation.
Quit using work as a justification. Your earnings are hardly substantial, if at all. You ought to show some gratitude for being allowed to reside here despite your modest income. It would be helpful if you could contribute more by assisting with the household chores occasionally. I find it surprising that I am solely responsible for all the household tasks lately, considering our relationship as mother-in-law and daughter-in-law.
I truly appreciate all the efforts you're putting in for our well-being. Still, I've helped you out whenever I've had the time. I contribute to the household chores diligently every day upon returning from work. I understand that on certain occasions I have to work overtime and cannot assist with the household tasks due to my professional commitments. I'm putting in my utmost effort, so I would prefer if you didn't speak to me in such a manner.
I really don't like how you talk back to me like this. Stop being so arrogant to know your place.
I didn't mean to offend you if I did. I was just telling you the truth about my situation.
I just feel so sorry for Daniel. He really did choose the wrong woman. There were so many more better options for a beautiful guy like him.
That's a little offensive, isn't it? I don't think he thinks that way about me at all. We both decided that we're both going to work even after getting married, and that we're both going to do the housework. There are times when I'm busier than him. I can't be doing the housework all the time. If you really need help with the housework, then you should be asking him as well. Why don't you ask him at all? You always pick on me even though you should know that I'm busy.
You really don't understand it all, do you? Are you seriously trying to make your husband do all the housework for you?
That's not what I'm saying. I'm just saying that he should help out from time to time. It's not fair right now because I do so much housework even though we both work full-time jobs.
Your entire thought process is just wrong. You shouldn't be making your man have to do any of the housework. Try to change the way you think.
We actually managed to share the housework pretty evenly before we moved in with you. You've been complaining so much that it's been difficult to balance things evenly between us. How about we try to get along and figure out how we can split up the workload evenly?
Sorry, but I declined.
Would you please think about it? I'm really doing my best to make sure that everyone's happy. I want to try to get along with you seeing as we live with each other. I don't like having to argue with you every single day. Could we please try to get along?
I'm getting very stressed these days having to argue and correct your mistakes all the time. I don't think that I can stand being around you any longer.
I had no idea that you felt that way about me.
You had no idea? You really are kind of obtuse, aren't you? It annoys me that you barely do any of the housework even though you're a wife. I've been doing the housework every single day since I got married. I don't understand how you can't do the same. Who do you think you are?
Well, times have changed now. It's no longer a given that the wife does all the housework. We're in very different situations as well. I'm working a full-time job. Please try to understand that there are some differences between us. Let's just try to get along.
I just thought of a great way to solve all of this.
A way to solve this? Great! What's the idea?
Yeah, it's perfect. I'm not going to be stressed because of you anymore.
That would be great for both of us. Would you let me know what your plan is?
You'll find out soon enough. Look forward to it because it's such a great idea.
Can you not tell me now?
No, I need some time to prepare.
Okay, I'll look forward to it then.
A few days later.
Hey, Katie, you have a business trip planned this weekend, right?
Yeah, I do. I'm going to be gone for a couple of days. What's the matter?
Oh, it's nothing. Don't worry about it. I just wanted to double check with you just in case.
I have all the dates on my schedule written down on the calendar. Also, could you talk to your mom for me?
About what?
You know that we don't get along that well with each other. She told me that she thought of an idea to solve our problems. She still hasn't told me what the idea is, and now she's not replying to any of my texts. I'm a little worried because she's ignoring me completely.
I see.
Wait, what? Is that all you're going to say? Please, would you try to help me out? You know that we both work full-time jobs and that I don't have that much free time. She's trying to force me to do all the housework, but that's just not possible. I think it's unfair that I'm the only one she's forcing to help with the housework. You should do some housework too. How do you feel about this problem?
Would you please stop trying to involve me in your problems? This has nothing to do with me.
What did you just say?
I'm your husband. I am a man and I really don't want to have to get involved in a fight between two women. You guys need to solve this yourselves. Please leave me out of this and not mention this to me ever again. I'm already stressed working my job. I don't need any extra problems to solve.
How could you say that to me? I'm also working a full-time job. I'm stressed out too. It's your mom and your wife. You need to help us solve this problem.
Yeah, I know that she's my mom. I told you I don't want to get involved in pointless arguments. My dad doesn't get involved in any of these arguments, right? I'm going to do the same thing as him and stay out of this.
You can't just pretend that this isn't your problem as well. You are the one that convinced me to move in with your family. You have a responsibility to at least try to make her get along with me. I was the one that got us this house that we could all live in. This is the least you can do for me.
You really need to calm down. Stop getting so worked up about such a small problem. You need to relax or you're going to get even uglier.
I've had enough now. I can't believe you're not going to try to help me out.
This isn't my problem. Why should I help you out? I hope you enjoy your business trip. I really don't mind you being gone for a long time. There's no need to be in a rush to come home.
I'm going on a work trip. It's not a vacation. Still, it's some precious time that I'll have by myself. I'll make sure to use it to try to relax.
Yeah, go ahead and do that. We're going to enjoy our time without you in the house too.
Okay, fine. I really don't like how you're treating me right now. I think we need to have a talk too. Please make some time for us to have a serious conversation when I get back. There's some serious problems in our relationship too. I am not happy at all.
Final day of the business trip.
There is no longer a place for you to live in this house.
What did you just say? I was surprised to receive a message from you all of a sudden.
I hope that you enjoy your life on the streets. You are officially homeless as of today.
I have no idea what you're talking about. Would you please explain to me what's going on?
There's nothing for me to explain. It's exactly as I just said. You'll understand what's happening once you come home. I guess it's not your home anymore, though. We sold the house, so it's no longer our property.
You're joking, right?
I'm not joking at all. We sold the house while you were gone on your business trip. All of us moved into a new place without you. That's why I'm telling you that you have no place to live. I hope that you enjoy your life as a homeless woman on the streets.
Are you serious about all of this? I don't think it was a very smart thing to do.
What are you talking about? This fixes all the problems that we've been having. Today we're going on a family vacation and staying in a nice hotel. We're planning to move into our new place tomorrow. We've already hired a moving company to deliver all our belongings to our new place.
So you guys have planned this all out then? You're not at your new place yet, right?
No, not yet. It took us a little longer than we planned because we had to wait for you to go on a business trip. I told Daniel that we didn't have to keep this a secret. It kind of seemed like he was a little scared of you. I hope he can live stress-free now that you're not living with us.
So he was involved in this plan of yours as well then? That's why he kept on checking with me about my business trip. He kept on asking me the exact times I would leave and come back. This was all planned out by all of you guys.
Of course we planned this together. We're a family after all. You're the only one that I don't consider as family. We sold off the house on the day you left for your business trip. There's no place for you to go home to now. Enjoy your miserable life on the streets.
Thanks for letting me know at least. I'm sure I'll be so much happier without you guys anyway. Yeah, we feel the same way too. Never show your face in front of us ever again. That's it. Goodbye.
The next day.
Would you please answer the phone? It's an emergency. I need to talk to you right now. Please just pick up.
What do you want from me? I thought that you never wanted to see my face ever again.
some problems came up. There are some things that I really need to talk to you about. Would you please just pick up the phone?
Unfortunately, I still don't want to see or talk to you at all. I'm not going to pick up the phone. What's the matter anyway? What's the emergency? If you need to tell me something, you can tell me here. I am not going to talk to you on the phone.
I'm crying so much right now.
What are you talking about?
Apparently, the sale of the house didn't go through. We've already bought the new house that we're moving into. Without the money from the sale of the old house, we can't pay for the new one. What the hell are we meant to do?
Why should I know? None of this is my responsibility. You guys did this to me behind my back. Figure it out yourselves.
I wonder why there was a problem with the sale of the house. I tried asking him, but he wouldn't tell me the details.
That house is my property. It's under my name, so I stopped the sale.
Wait, what did you just say?
I knew that you guys needed the money from the sale of the house to move. I contacted the real estate agent yesterday and got the sale canceled. I'm so glad that I noticed before the sale went through. Although the sale never would have worked in the first place. The house is in my name, so you would have needed my permission and signature for the sale to go through. Did you really think that something like this would really work? Is your entire family full of idiots?
I don't understand what's going on. How could the house be in your name? That's just not possible. Isn't that house in Daniel's name? It's his house, right?
No, it's not. I was the one that purchased that house.
No way! You've got to be lying. I always thought that place was his. He was the one that bought the house.
Did you seriously think that? There's no way that he could afford to buy a house. You know how little he earns, right? He'd be lucky to rent out an old apartment room with his salary.
Wait, what are you talking about now? Is his salary really that low?
Yeah, I thought you would have known that. I'm the one that's paying off the loans for the house. There's just no way you guys could sell off the house. I had a couple of missed calls from unknown numbers. I guess that it was the real estate agency calling me to check what was going on. I really didn't expect you guys to do something this stupid though. Anyway, it was a good opportunity for me to find out how crazy you guys are.
Would you please hold on a minute? I'm having trouble trying to process what you just told me.
What part of it are you struggling to process? I thought that I explained everything to you very clearly.
You're telling me that the house that we were all living in is actually your property. Are you really the one that's paying off the loans? I still can't believe any of this.
Well, you're going to have to believe it because it's the reality.
How are we meant to pay for our new place then?
Are you seriously asking me that?
We were planning to pay for our new house with the money from the sale of that house. We already paid the down payments and we have no savings left at all. What the hell are we supposed to do?
I have no idea why you're asking me this. What do you expect me to do?
Please figure out a way to solve this. This is all your fault. You need to help us out.
How is any of this my fault? You guys decided to do this without me knowing. You and the rest of your family need to figure out what to do. You told me that I'm not part of your family, right? I have no intention of helping you guys out at all.
You're his wife, though. You need to do something to help him out.
Why do I need to do anything? Also, I'm not his wife anymore.
What did you just say?
My ex-husband was a piece of trash, so I got a divorce. Have you not heard from him at all?
What are you talking about? Are you talking about my son?
Yeah, who else would I be talking about? We discussed this a couple of days ago and decided. I had no idea he planned to try to sell my house, though. He didn't mention that when we had our conversation.
Are you telling me that we're complete strangers to each other now? Yeah, pretty much.
Have you finally realized that you guys are the ones that might become homeless?
Are you seriously going to do this to us? I had no idea things would end up like this. Are you going to abandon us completely?
Yeah, I don't see why I should help. You were telling me to enjoy my life on the streets. I don't feel like helping people that would say that to me. I'm sure you guys did this to kick me out of the house, but I guess it's kind of backfired. Now look who's going to be without a place to live.
Don't worry, we're going to be completely fine. He still has a job, so we won't have any financial problems. I guess we're just going to have to find a different place to live. Although I have no idea what I'm going to do about the money for a new place.
That's a problem that you guys are going to have to figure out yourselves. I have nothing to do with you guys anymore. It was actually the perfect timing for us to get a divorce, actually. I was kind of looking for a reason to kick you guys out of the house.
I can't believe this. How dare you talk to me like that? Are you seriously not going to help us out?
Of course I'm not going to help. We're strangers to each other. Did your husband know about any of this? I didn't think that he was the kind of person that would agree to something like this.
He didn't know any of the details. How am I meant to tell him that we have no place to live now? What are you going to do about this? You've messed up my plans completely.
Stop blaming me for any of this, you old hag. How about you take responsibility for what you've done? This was the plan that you had to solve the problems between us, right? We don't have to argue every day now that we're not going to be living together. This is perfect for both of us.
Yeah, I still don't want to live with you at all. Still, this isn't how I planned things to be. I have no idea what I'm going to do from now on.
Who cares about tomorrow? I'm happy that we don't have to live together anymore. Problem solved, right? Please don't ever contact me again. I've got to get going now. Goodbye, you old hag. I hope you and your family enjoy your lives on the street.
After that, Lona opted to confront Daniel to verify the truth of Katie's claims. Ultimately, he confessed that it was indeed Katie who financed the house, and it was registered under her name. Lona's husband remained completely oblivious to these events and became enraged upon discovering the truth of the situation. Their entire household is engulfed in a massive dispute at the moment, and there is a possibility that they will have to separate permanently. She attempted to covertly re-enter Katie's residence without consent but was apprehended by law enforcement and issued a restraining order. They are presently without a place of residence and are currently experiencing homelessness. Katie ultimately sold the expansive family residence and acquired a solitary high-rise condominium for her own occupancy. Her life appears to have undergone a remarkable improvement following the dissolution of her marriage.